Welcome back to Tom's Garage again. Welcome back to Tom's Garage again. Today, Pow. 2003 Suburban. Same as a Tahoe, Escalade, Sierra, C1500 pickup. Today we are putting new shoes on the front and back. I'll show you with one front wheel and I'll show you one back wheel, how I do it. It ain't been long. Well, I say it ain't been long. It's been a couple of years since I had Robbie over at Marietta Alignment. They put new rotors and calipers and everything. They did the whole thing about a couple of years ago. And they're getting kind of low. I rotated my tires the other day and kind of peeked at them, see what kind of shape the shoes were in. They're getting kind of low, so I'm going to go ahead and slap some new ones on there. These are the front ones here. I've already got one wheel done on the front over there on the driver's side. And these are the back. The front ones are a lot beefier because they take the brunt of the stopping force. Welcome back to Tom's Garage again. Changing all four wheels. Brake shoes on the Suburban again. I'm doing it by myself today because I have no friends. Gates closed, y'all. Leave me alone. No, I'm doing it with all my YouTube friends. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I'll turn some light on here. Turn some light on the Suburban here. You got, well, let me show you. Ooh. You've got two different style calipers on the front. You got this style, which is what we have. I don't know what style that is. But this is a 4x4, so I guess it's got this style. So you got to use these things. This is what the pads will sit on. You clip these into the holder and it sits there like that. Top and bottom. Yep. And this is a very nasty job. And that's just from one wheel. Ew. What was that Ken calls it? Schmutz. It's got schmutz all over it. And you will be covered. First things first though, safety first. Jack this thing up and get some good jack stands under it in a good place. I don't like the way that one's kind of slid a little further, but I'm not really going to be under it. Not going to be under it, I'm going to be beside it. I got pretty good reaction time. I might be in my 50s, but I can still move when I have to. I can. Well, let's get busy here, man. Let's do this, Brutus. We ain't new to this. Let's see, let me raise this camera a little bit. I don't like this GoPro tripod thing. This thing is a piece of junk. Okay, somehow or another you got to do that, then you got to do this to raise it. Okay. Yeah, this thing is, it's an actual GoPro brand tripod. Here. Whole thing's leaned over. There we go. Get y'all straightened up a little bit there. All right. This bolt. That one and that one. 18 millimeter. 18 millimeter. Ooh. I'm going to use an impact because last time Robbie done this, he's probably got one of those 9,000 foot-pound jackhammers he put this together with. Oh, that's the wrong way. Yeah, buddy, he got these things tight. Good, googly moogly. Yeah, we're going to have to resort. We're going to have to resort to violence on this one. I'll show you what I had to do on the other side on one bolt. Wow. Okay. Just can't wait to get back to Watch Tom's garage again. Here's a big old pipe I took a big hammer and smushed it out a little bit so this wrench will fit in there. 18 millimeter, and we'll stick it on that bolt right there. Let me get this impact out of the way. All right. Hi-ya. Oh, darn. Yeah. That looks like trouble right there. That looks like trouble. Tell you what, let's do something else. Use a socket and a breaker bar. It's acting like it's wanting to strip with that cheap end wrench. Let's walk over here and see if we can find a 6-point 18 millimeter. That's what we really need. I don't want to use a 3/8 drive either. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's 12-point stuff. I believe that's going to be standard 13/16. Let's see if it's 13/16 that fit that, because that's the last thing I want to do is round off that bolt. That thing is tight. The whole brake job will be ruined. No, that's way too loose. Whew, got me tuckered out already. That's the 3/8 drive anyway. Let's get the 1/2-inch drawer open. Yeah. Okay, let's see, 18 millimeter. 18 millimeter 6-point. Oh, that's 12-point. $16. We need an 18. I don't believe we're gonna find one. I don't believe. Let's see. I believe that's gonna be a 21 or something, right? 24, I think, 24 millimeter. I don't believe I have a 6-point 18 millimeter. Well, we'll just have to try this one. If I feel like it's fixing to strip, I'm gonna stop. Because I don't want to be in a pickle. Hiya! Dang, that thing is tight. Woo, we got it though. Woo! Mother of pearl, that thing's tight. Put my darn back out. I ain't doing this no more. Ugh, next time I'm going back to Robbie. I don't know why I got the wall here to do this myself. I hate working on cars. I hate it. All right, now we got that done. I just despise working on cars, I do. It's nothing I ever enjoyed. When you put these bolts back in, we're going to grease them up real good, because this caliper will slide on that bolt, on these two bolts. Get back here. I'm going to set these over here out of the way. All right, we got ourselves a little pry bar. Try to work this caliper off. Bottom first. Because right now the pistons inside this caliper is still squeezed a little bit, and you gotta get it off. It's gonna hang on those rivets on the back side of that shoe. You just gotta keep working it. I don't want to stick nothing in there because you'll damage them piston boots. Careful. We'll pry on the rotor, because these rotors are new. They were new last time we put them in. So we're not going to bother turning them. We're just going to simply do pads this time. Because I don't drive this vehicle much anymore. I don't take it to work in Marietta anymore. I don't have to do that. So the only time I drive is to Sunday mornings to get groceries or to pick up and deliver a lawnmower. Yeah, it's still hung on them little rivets. That's what the problem is. Stick it in there like that and be very careful. Don't hurt that butte. Right over. I'll show you what I'm doing when we're done here. I'll get them compressed just a little bit. See, it's just hanging on them rivets. And you gotta push the piston back in just a little bit. Just a little bit. Oop, be careful. Alright, we got that one compressed a little bit. If I can just get something on this one. I'm just barely catching the tip of that piston. Now you see what I'm doing. I'm trying to stick this down in there and grab that bottom piston and push it in just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I'm trying to hang on them. There we go. We'll just set this right here. See, we're having to push those pistons back a little bit. It was hanging on these little rivets. Hanging right there on the little rivets. Set that caliper right there, and I'll show you what you have to do when you do a brake job. Front brakes or rear brakes if they're a disc, and you've got calipers like that. You have to take your cap off of your master cylinder, and when you compress those pistons back in that caliper, do it very, very slowly, because if you do it too fast, it's just going to squirt out of here. See how it squirted out a little bit? And keep an eye on the level, because you have to compress those pistons completely inside that caliper to get it over the new shoes. Yep. Okay, got that done. Let's get these old pads off here. See, this outer pad, pop this off. It's got to go at the same time, and then you got to, ow, that was my finger. There we go. You got to go in like that because of this bar right here. This outer pad only has one sensor on the top. The inside pad is going to have a sensor at the top and the bottom. I still had a little bit of life left on these, but you see how close the sensor was getting. The back ones are even worse. And you want to make sure when you take these off that, see how the inside pad, well, this one's broke off. Yeah, that was broke off there. Wonder where it went. But see, I couldn't get the caliper off because it was hanging on these rivets. See how the piston sits in there? It's hanging on that rivet. All right, that's the inside. And this was the outside. And see, look at the schmutz. Okay, we got these two. Now these are different. You got to pay close attention. See, on the left side, this is more narrow than the right side, but it's the opposite on this one. And I'll show you how these go in. You need to replace those when you put new pads, otherwise your new pads may stick on the old ones. They give them to you in the box for a reason. Let's see. I'll just... Okay, the bottom one just clips in like that. See how this is more narrow than this? Find the one like it. That's the opposite. That one goes on top, just like that. Otherwise, these things get corrody. They get corrody. They just clip down like that. And I'll show you a trick for, see, this has got to compress when you get the caliper on there. I use a putty knife and I stick it in there and I slide the caliper over that putty knife and that holds this down. Otherwise it'll just get all pushed over. And this one too. Okay. Pull that top one off. I was thinking these are made of stainless steel, but they probably just got like a zinc coating or something on them. You can see they are rusting a little bit, unless that's rust from the caliper. Okay. Okay, we'll put the back one on first. Let's see, this is a front one because it's only got one sensor. And this is the back one, it's got two sensors. And it goes just like that. And it goes on just like that. That sensor feels like it's rubbing that holder. Maybe that's why this one, I think Robbie may have taken and broken that one off on purpose. Because it is definitely rubbing right there. Give me a little hammer, give it a little tappy tap. Get it past that. Where's it at? Make sure the rotor's on all the way. That is definitely rubbing right there. You can see the big old scratch put in it. We're going to break that tab off. Yeah. We are. Come back here. I knocked that thing clear to the middle of the car. Okay. Yeah, you can see where it was. Yeah, you can see where it was rubbing. Big old scratch right there. That ain't good. Let's go over to the workbench and break off that tab. I'm just going to grind it off. Gone. Took care of that tab, didn't we? All right. Now we'll put it back on. Look at there, that's proper. That is proper. That is good. Perfect. Perfect. Now we'll put the outer pad on. Like that. Yep. After I just told you, it's got to go in at an angle like that. And like that. Just like that. Now the fun part. Instead of using a C-clamp, I'll just take these big old monster channel locks. And I'll just stick my channel locks on there like that. And ever so gentle. Let me grab it down here. Ever so gentle. Tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a little hard and fast for you because I want you to see that. See that master cylinder? If you squeeze it, I don't know if you saw that. Let's walk over and look. Yeah, look at there. It shot out. Now it's running down. Running down right there. Go slow. You don't want brake fluid all over your innards. That stuff is corrosive. Yeah. But it's got to go all the way down. Oh, it's pushing that one out. That's what it is. Let me hang on to that one. So I'll tell you what I'll do. Since it's going to try to push this one out, let me squeeze that one back in a little bit. Oh, there it goes. Easy. I'll put the pad back on it. Like that. Well, like that. You can take your C-clamp and do it in the middle and press both of them down at the same time, but you can't get the C-clamp in there because of this piece right here. So you can only get a C-clamp on one. But we'll try it with this. We'll try to squeeze both of them together. Let me set the camera down because I can't get enough force. Let me open my jaws one little tooth. I'm about to stand up to do this. Ugh. Oh, I'm still squirting out over there. You're going too fast with it, boy. Let me get one more tooth on this right here. All right. Well, it's not tight enough. There we go. Oh, it's still coming out of the master cylinder. Go slow. Real slow. I'm going to have to take brake spark cleaner and clean that engine bay. I have got brake fluid all over the booster. You have to get these all the way down or you are not going to get it over that new pad, over that new, those new pads. Now let me look and see how close we are. We're pretty close. Pretty close. Ooh, I just popped my neck. All right, let's tighten this up now. Trying to do this and hold the GoPro at the same time. We may be all the way down. I believe we are. I believe we're about all the way down. Let me do one. Yeah. Yeah, we're all the way down. That's good. Okay. Have I told you how bad I hate this tripod? Not used to it. All right, now we'll put the caliper back on. See if we clear the pads. Yeah, we do. Now what I'll do is grab my putty knife if I can find out what I did with it. I just saw it. There it is. All right, right here. Take and push this back. Get that on there like that. And the bottom one's all messed up. There we go. Get that top one. Okay. 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 See, this is why I don't like doing brake jobs anymore. I mean, look at the mess, just the junk you have laying around. You can't move your stool or nothing, you know, you're tripping over stuff. What was I about to do? Yeah, let's grease these bolts here, these studs. Grease these studs with our famous 30-year-old can of grease. All right, we'll put a little grease on here. And we'll just fish it through there like that. Get it started. No, it ain't cross-threading. Yeah, I seen that post from Ken this morning. It said something about StreamYard was going up to over $400 a year. I canceled my StreamYard last year. I quit hosting live streams. I just don't care for it anymore. But I think back then, year before this one, last year, when I still had it, I let it run out, I think, in last September. But I think I was paying $240 a year for it back then. I think I got it in 2020, 21 is when I got it. And I paid $240 a year. Hope he ain't gonna quit doing live streams. We all need to get together and pitch in, have one person with it. That way we can we all go in there and chat. So we all also ought to share the expense. Because I think without paying for StreamYard, I think you can't have but 2 people in there, I think, or maybe 3, or however many. I forget now. It's been so long since I hosted a StreamYard live, since I've had one. I don't do the Saturday Night Live shows anymore. All right. By golly, that's got to be tight enough. I mean, that's a 450 foot-pound impact. Oh yeah, that's tight, tight, tight. Oh, yep, good and tight. Okay, there is the new front pad installation. Straighten the wheels out. And while I'm down here, there's several grease fittings that may not have been greased in a long time. I've had this thing 11 years and I've never greased it. I guess Robbie greases it when I take it to him for stuff, but I mean, I can tell it's been greased. There's one more. You can get to it under this CV boot, right there on top. I'll have to feel around for it, but it's down there. And then you've got one here. Oh, and you've got one more right way back there under that. I didn't do the other side. Because see, there's some kind of boot right there. I guess I don't know what that, I mean, it's a tie rod, but I don't know why it's got I guess it flexes a little bit right there. Well, all right, when you do that, what you need to do, check your brake fluid level. Boy, I have made a mess under this hood. It is, let me grab a flashlight. Man, I've got brake fluid all over this thing. Grab me a flashlight. That and they're still on. I always leave my flashlights on for some reason. I'm gonna check the level. Yeah, that's right there on max. Put the cap back on it. So what you want to do is crank it, put the cap back on there, crank it, and just slowly push the brake pedal. Look at all the fluid I've lost. Yeah. That way you'll get the pad seated, and you'll put the pistons back where they need to be, and you can tell then if you're low on brake fluid. And make sure the brake light right there goes out. Yeah, it did. Because at first you're not going to have a pedal at all, man. You're going to think you've done something wrong. See how it went to the floor? And the brake pedal comes on, the brake light. Just give it, there it goes. Just keep doing it very lightly. Because that's all we're doing is setting them pistons. I didn't grind that sensor off this pad over here. I know you need to do that. I don't want that thing to hang up. See, I got a good pedal now. But if you had rear drum brakes, your rear drum brakes is what affects the pedal the most, not the front. So if you had a low pedal, you may need to just adjust your rear brakes or something. All right, let's check out what we did. Just look at the mess. Look at it. Look at it. Yeah, that feels pretty good. It's nothing's hung up. Nothing is hung up. Yeah, it turns good. Everything is seated. Yeah, if I still drove this thing every day all the way to Marietta and back, I'd let Robbie do it. I'm not going to put any miles on this thing at all. I ain't put but about, let's see, it had 93,000 when I bought it. It's got 156. I put 63,000 miles on it in over 11 years. So I don't hardly, and now in the past year and a half, I don't drive it at all. All right, let me hit pause. I'm gonna spin this thing. Actually, I'm gonna drive around the block first. Then we'll back it in and do the rear brakes. Y'all hang with, fellers. All right. Uh-oh, let me turn that TV down there, boy. Can't be hearing that there. Get a copyright claim. Okay. Now we're going to do the back wheel. Back wheel is a little more simple than the front wheel. You've got two bolts, one here and one on the bottom. 14 millimeter. You'll have to hold this thing right here from spinning. You can just take like a 16 millimeter wrench. It's got two little flat sides on it. This is what the bolt will screw into. And then this is held in here. It allows the caliper to move. And of course, as I hit record, here comes a bunch of sirens. These ain't near as tight as those other ones were. Oh. Just take your little 16 millimeter you're going to use to hold that with and use it to pry that off. Well, come back here. Yeah, here we go. See how this is spinning? So we'll just take the 16 millimeter. I can do it without getting in the way of the camera there. You just kind of hold it right there. And there's a little bolt. We got to make sure we put thread lock back on it. And now we'll get to one at the bottom down there. That was a lot more difficult to get to. There we go. Good, I don't have to hold that bottom when it's not turning. It's just going to give me the bolt back. I got it in a bind because this thing is moved. Good. And same way with the, where'd that come from? Huh, I have no idea where that came from. That just laid on the floor. Wonder it didn't end up in my tire. Okay, same way with the front. We're gonna have to fight this caliper, these pistons up over those rivets. There we go. It slid right off there. That's good. All right. Let me raise the camera a little bit. I got my other tripod back on here. I hate that other one. Okay, let's take the pad off down here. You got to slide the bottom off. Somehow or another. There we go. It's got to go in like that. You see this side was wore a little more than the other side was. All right. The outside pad has got one sensor, and I believe the inside pad has got one sensor also. It'll just come right out like that. This one was already rubbing the sensor. See how shiny that is? Yep, and I didn't hear it. I don't feel nothing. It must have just started. Okay. And we'll pop these little doohickeys loose, same as the front. These are the same, top and bottom. And they'll just clip right back down there like that. There we go. Make sure it's seated all the way in. Get the top one off. Put that new one on. You can't really see the back side of it, but you can feel it. It acts like it wants to fall out, so we'll go ahead and pop a new pad on there to hold that. Am I doing this right? Yeah. All right, we'll pop the other one inside. Just like that. See if I can get my head in here and see. I'm just judging it by this one. You can see it on the outside. It seems to be in there. I just can't get my head in there to see. Let's see if we can. Okay, it's in. All right, we'll grab a old brake pad. Stick it on there like that. Well, yeah, we'll do this first. I got the hood popped and I got the cap off the master cylinder, but I had to close the hood back because it's a little bit drizzly out there, a little sprinkly. I don't want to get moisture in my master cylinder. So what we'll do is just go real easy. Go all the way in. You can barely see it moving. And I bet you I have shot brake fluid all over the inside of my hood again. All right, that's all the way down. And then we'll get this little clip right here. This holds pressure against the pads. You just take and unhook it there, or actually unhook it here. And it'll come out just like that. It hooks in there and it just kind of spring loads itself in there. There's a new one. So what we'll have to do is get this end hooked in there like that. Then we'll take a little screwdriver and we'll stick it right in there and help that little mechanism click in there. And there you go. And then we'll get the caliper put back on if we have got it compressed enough. May not have it compressed enough. Let's compress it some more. Just make doubly sure it's all the way in. You know this thing wants to fall. Let me get one more tooth on these channel locks. On my Chanel number 5 locks. It feels like it's all in. Hey-ya! Okay. Yeah, something's acting funny. We may not have it in right. Let me stick my head back here and double check that other pad. It's in there. It's just a tight fit. No, it ain't either. This one ain't in. See that gap right there? There we go. That pad wasn't all the way in. If I would have got that on there, it would have went ahead and snapped in, but okay. We'll try it again. All right, we're on. Now we'll take our 2 bolts. And put us a little dab of blue thread lock on there. Just a little dab will do you. See how that thing's turning? We'll have to hold it. I'm just kind of gauging that by where they put thread lock on it last time. I'm the world's worst about putting too much on there. I'll smear it all up and down all the threads. Let's see. Are we all the way on? Here we go. I gotta take this and hold that bottom piece turning. There we go. Hey-ya! It ain't gotta be super tight like the front. Whew. A little breeze feels good out there. Here it is, Sunday, November 3rd, and I'm sweating. Once it gets tight, it'll hold itself. You don't have to hold that anymore. I just want to stick this on there and make sure I get one last little hunker on there. And that's it. Everything moves free. And then I'll do like I did the front. Crank it up, push the brake pedal a couple times, and then the last thing you do is check your brake fluid level. But you know it's going to have enough in it because we pushed all that fluid back up inside the master cylinder because the pads are thicker now. God, my back. This is why I don't work on cars anymore. Well, all right, that is a brake job on a Suburban 2003. Like I said, it's the same with Tahoe, this particular year Escalade, pickup trucks. Well, all right, boys and girls, thanks for watching another thumbnail video, something a little different. I got a bunch of carburetors over here I got to clean. Y'all want to hang around? Ooh. Well, y'all be good, boys and girls. Love y'all, man. We will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be real good.